Hey folks, this is Mickey G. Well, Rodney and I go a little deep in this edition where we talk about the philosophies of life. And about halfway through, when I talk about this quote, actually, the quote came from Fannie Lou Hamer, who was a noted civil rights activist. And it actually says, you can pray until you faint, but unless you get up and try to do something, God is not going to put it in your lap. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Well, we hope you enjoyed this version of Old Fools Talking Old School. Yeah, sometimes they say it's best just to, that's, I can't say that. I remember how that saying goes, but it's, what is it? It's best to be silent and be thought a fool than open mouth and confirm it or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw that the other day too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw it.
I gotta find that one. And I've got to find that one that I told you about that, and I can't remember who it was. It was some prominent person that said, you can pray all you want, but till you get off your ass and do something, it ain't going to happen. I got to find that one too.
Yes, sir. And that is so profound.
I got to find both of those and have those put somewhere where I can remember exactly how it goes. But
well, I can give you one from a proverbial liquor drinking buddy of mine. He said if prayer was all of that, black folks be the richest in the world.
I gotta agree with him.
Yeah, I fell on the floor. I was like, damn, James from Mississippi. Yeah, hell. If that's all it took, black folks would be the richest in the world. Oh, man. But that's what we do. We think, well, I'm going to put it in God's hand, then I'm going to sit on my ass and do nothing.
Yeah. It's this divine intervention is going to come by and give me a job or give me the education and give me good health or whatever, even though I ain't going to do nothing to help myself. It's going to come by and just do all this good stuff for me.
I'm waiting.
I say, I think sometimes that's some of our biggest problems. I mean, we just we want to sit back and wait for the divine intervention or whatever you want to call it to come by and take care of us. And I just think sometimes that just doesn't happen. You got to get out there and try to take care of yourself too. I just don't think it was meant for, you to sit back and sort of do nothing and then it all be given to you. I just don't think that from a prophetic standpoint or religious standpoint. I just don't think that's what is meant.
No. And you would think people would have wised up to that by now, just by looking at your history. If that's the case, a whole lot of people have been waiting and they're still waiting. Mm-hmm. And some of them gone to the grave waiting.
Yeah.
We just hadn't been thought to get up for a lot of reasons, institutional reasons. You start thinking you can't get that done, or I can't do that, or the Lord is going to help me, which He does help you. Help you get up this morning. He's going to help you, but you got to help yourself.
You got to help yourself too.
You sitting there talking about the Lord opens doors and one door closes, He opens another. But if you're sitting on your ass, you ain't going through neither door. What's the point of having the door right there and you ain't got sense enough to walk through it?
Yeah. I think the same way. He will make a way, but you got to take the path.
That's right.
Just because they make a way, you just can't sit back there and look. You gotta take it. You got to do something yourself. It's just
and use your brain because I know for myself, and I would imagine most people, the doors that was presented, I went through them. But just like you out your plan, He got another plan for you. I ended up going another direction I never thought about going in that proved to be fruitful. I mean, like I tell kids all the time, where I ended up, I didn't plan to be here. I didn't even know this existed. But you got to get up and do something. You can't do it staying at home with mama all the time. And that's what a whole lot of people down in my hometown, 60 years old. Yeah. Man, where you at now? Oh, I'm over at mama's house, man. Hell, I've been gone so long, I don't even remember where your mama's house is. You all not to know either. Shit.
Uh,
Well, hey, to each his own. If they
well,
content with that, more power to you.
well, I feel the same way too. I feel the same. But I just wonder how many people are truly content with that. You know,
Right.
if you
Right.
really got down to them and could get deep into their soul, it makes you wonder how many really, really are. Because I know those same people see others,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like to say so much doing better, but they see others who have done better, and I think they realize that they could have done more, or whatever.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, they might show you that impression that yeah, I'm fine where I'm at, but I think there are some who, if you really got down to it, would tell you no, not. I'm just at a point to where ain't much I can do about it. Like all of us, we ain't getting any younger. So
Oh yeah. That's true. And then too, a lot of them in their cases, I'm a firm believer. Uh, if you hang with them attaboy people there that y'all cheerlead each other into doing nothing. If you hanging around 10 people like that, guess who's gonna be the 11th one? It's you.
yeah, it's gonna be you.
Yeah, because you sit there and you justify nothingness, you justify shortcutting, and then when you end up with nothing, that's usually what the case is.
Yeah. Well, I've always said I always thought there was going to be the voice that was going to tell me one day, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're
Mhm.
going to be. And you know, I never heard that voice.
That's it.
But I always kept trying to be the sort of the best at what I was at that time, sort of
Hmm.
waiting for that. But I used to always think there's going to be something that's going to happen in my life that's going to say, that's your calling in life.
Hmm.
And gracefully, my life isn't over yet, but that never happened.
Right.
That never happened. But I sort of took what I had and I sort of used what I had to do the best with that I could at that point. But
Hmm.
but I always thought that. I always thought that there was going to be some point in my life where something was going to just tell me what I was going to do, and that was going to be my lot in life, and I was going to be content with that. And it just, for me at least, it never happened. For other people, I've heard other people say, yeah, I walked into this situation and I knew, and that's what I wanted to do. That just never happened for me. You know.
Well, me either. And I question whether it happened for them. You
I do
know,
too. I
I,
do too.
I don't know, because so many things that affect your life and so many circumstances and so many things change. Now, I'll give you that if you say you wanted to be a doctor or you wanted to be a lawyer and you successfully did that, but where you ended up is not where you thought you were. You might end up as the as the chief doctor at one of the prestigious hospitals, but that was based on learning and going in another direction that you knew nothing about and making connections. So you can't say, well, I was always going to be the chief of Johns Hopkins. No, you didn't know that. You did not, but you were on an upward path and you got to be that. So you didn't know you was going to be that. You knew you wanted to be a doctor. So I don't think none of us have that insight. That's a godly insight. He knows, but you don't. You're being led to a place, and you ended up being there. Which I'm not trying to diminish their accomplishment, but I don't think anybody can safely say, even right now, whatever you're doing, that's where you thought you were going to end up.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't. I know I
No.
can't say that, and I once again I must confess I have never so far in my life said I've always wanted to be X.
Right.
I've never wanted. I've always admired doctors. I've admired lawyers. I've admired sports stars. But I've never said ever in my life that I always wanted to be X. Once again, I think that's that same like that voice telling me what I wanted to be in life. I just never had that. I just tried to, as I say, make the best of the scenarios that I were placed in, whether is through my own doings, or as I say, that divine intervention, or whatever it may be. But I never had that either. I never had that kind of situation of maybe coming from a family of lawyers and saying, I always wanted to be a lawyer. That's all I ever wanted to do, was be a lawyer. I never had that scenario either.
Well, I had aspirations. I wanted to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you don't look at the intangibles, as they say. And that's what I wanted. And I wanted until I got out there in the world, and then I had to make a shift.
Yeah.
Because being a local area hero is a lot different than being a regional one.
But I wish I had have had that. Not so much, that, you want to, but I wish I wish I had been good at something, whatever it may be, and had visions of going to that highest level. I've never even had that kind of thing. I can understand your situation. I could see where you could say, yeah, because you were good. You were good at playing at basketball. Like I say, whether it was on a local level or whatever level, you were good at it. But see, I never even had that either, whether it was sports or academics or whatever it may be. I never had that either. That's why I say, where I am today is just because I think I just tried to motivate myself and set myself for trying to get as far up that chain as I could. But I never even had anything like that. I never had that goal because I knew I was good at X. It just didn't work out for me. I didn't have that either. I didn't have that either.
Hey, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I had it that one time, but I had to learn. I had to do some critical thinking. If that was the beginning of my critical thinking, because once I came to the realization that I'm fooling myself, I'm like, okay, buddy, what we gonna do now?
Yeah, yeah, I can understand. I think the thing
I
that
just knew I wanted more than what I had.
Yeah. Well, I was sort of that way too. I was sort of that way too. But I think my biggest gift, if you will, is I always sort of enjoyed a challenge. And I looked at my military career as, by no means would I ever say I was the most patriotic person in the world. And as I tell people all the time, the reason I came into the Air Force was not because I wanted to serve my country. I wanted to go to school.
Yeah. I got
But
you.
Once I got in, to me, the challenge of going from airman basic to airman first was a challenge. Going up the ranks was a challenge. I even, remember going to when I got to Tyndall, I went to their first award ceremony, and first place everywhere else I've been, I'd won a few little, airman of the month and that kind of thing. They gave you a little plaque. And I went to Tyndall and they were doing their award ceremony. They had these nice alabaster eagles that they gave to the award winners. And the first time I went to that, I said to myself, I'm going to get one of them. That was my challenge. Those kind of things I had, those challenges, but I never had that quest to be, like you in the NBA because I was good at basketball, or to be a Supreme Court justice because I knew I was going to be a lawyer and I was going to go as far as I could. And that was my goal. I just never had those kind of sort of goals in my life because I never had that niche that I had, that I knew I wanted to take that and go to the highest level. And maybe I'm just sort of, different in that aspect, but I never had, I never had those kind of things. I just had the challenges of wanting to be sort of as good as everybody else, but not because I had a special talent, if you will.
Well, I mean, you ended up doing what you wanted to do, and even though I might have had a little aspiration there, I had to quickly adjust that when it wasn't a reality. And,
Yeah, yeah, I
and
understand.
it
I
and it's
understand.
and it's and it's what you do after that, you know. Because I ain't gonna call no names, but I know a few people that are still living in that past,
Mhm.
because it didn't work out, and that's where they stayed. They just gave up.
Yeah.
You know, you have a conversation with them right now, man. Just not to sound aloof or whatnot. Hey, man, you remember that time we was playing in such and such and such? Like, I'll refresh my memory, man. Foregone, it's gone. It left a long time
Yeah,
ago.
I
you
I know
know,
what you mean.
yeah, man. You. I had a partner call me one time. He said, "Man, this is number 23." I'm like, "What? This is number 23." Then he finally said his name. I'm like, "The hell did he come up with number 23?" like, I'm like, "Oh, okay." Now I put it together. Oh, that was your number you wore back then. How significant is that? I'm like,
Oh.
I'll be damn. I'm like, I ain't thought about that crap. I could even think of the base I was at, let alone what I was wearing back in.
Yeah,
so
but you
ridiculous.
you have those that just, seem like they can't give it up, and they always wanna live in the past. I just,
Yeah,
always wanted to try to make my path toward the future, because I know you can't always live in the past. And as I look back, I mean, I've had a good life and all, but it ain't I can say, well, yeah, man, you remember when I won, the MVP of the state tournament? No,
mhm,
I never got anything like that. It was just the things. I mean, like you, I went to Boys State, did some things,
yeah,
in
yeah.
school that a lot didn't do. But other than that, I just took a average Joe life, and hopefully I've made it
Made the best.
as rewarding as it could be.
That's right. That's right. Because I mean, just like when I said it about oh boy, I understand it because I lived in it for a little bit. You know, because once you had it, you it's hard to give up because you could nobody have told you nothing that was you wasn't gonna do something with that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I remember, I remember the day. I don't remember the day, but I can't remember if it's when we moved here or if it was the move before. I think it was the move before when we went to England. We were packing up. Now I've been hauling my trophies, my legacy. I've been hauling them all over the damn place. I'm like, why am I hauling this? Man, I went and found the nearest dumpster and threw all that. I'm like, man, you need to give this mess up here. You know how when you're moving, you start clearing out stuff.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
I threw all that crap in the trash, man. And you just comes to the point in time where you gotta let it go. If it
Yeah,
didn't work, you
yeah,
gotta let it go.
yeah, yeah. You got to do that, and like you say, you move on and you sort of chart a different course in life.
Yeah,
That's to me that's the way things should be. And I just think there's people who have a hard time doing that, and sometimes I think they just, and it could be a sort of a mental thing of they're just so down because it didn't work the way that they just don't have the motivation.
yeah, yeah. They
To
are.
do much more. That was the only thing in life I wanted to do. That didn't happen. I don't really care about anything else. I
Well,
think
see,
that people get that.
and part of that is when you stay in that same environment. Because I can honestly tell you, Mickey, I can go home right now, and if there's people from my generation back there, they'll start talking about when I played ball.
Hmm. Oh,
And I'm
sure.
like, and you get used to that revelry down there, and if you never leave, you still living in it. Just like got a couple of partners, they still living in it because they're there.
Hmm.
Boy, sometimes so much somebody, if there's a whole gathering of us, in a place, somebody gonna bring it up. Yeah, man, you's a bad boy, man. That's so long ago.
Yeah.
One, one, one of my partners told me, like, man, you go back down there, you could run for mayor, man. I said, man, them folks don't remember nothing about. I ain't done nothing down there. I played ball for about 3 years, and I can't. Yeah, man, your name recognition is still good down there. I'm like, man, give me a break. I wish I would think that. Go down there and get my ass shot. Like, I was telling him one time, I said, no, man, I ain't got to the point now. I go home. Well, definitely now. It starts getting dark. I'm going to look for where I'm going to spend the night at because I'm finna get off these streets. Oh, man, ain't nobody going to bother you. Like, well, how you figure that? Don't nobody know me down here. Hell, the people that was coming up, when I came up, they're old like me.
Yeah.
These young folks don't care nothing about that. So but yeah, people stay in that revelry, man, and they love it. They don't want to leave it.
No, you got some just like that. They don't want to give it up, They don't want to give, but I guess that's just a difference in people. There's just people who can move on, and and just like you. I mean, I'm sure you appreciate that people remember
Oh yeah,
that, and
it's flattering.
and I know, I know you do that, but then again, that didn't define your life. Where there's other people,
exactly.
That's that defined their life. They have nothing else to sort of point to other than back in the day when I did that. That's all they got to point to, and you got a whole lot more to point to than that. I hear people, when I go talk to my old partner and stuff back home, they'll say, Mickey, you was always smart. I really wasn't much smarter than anybody else, I was a B, and C student. I wasn't no straight A student. I wasn't no Mensa person, but everybody, for whatever reason, if you probably go back and ask 10 people, what do you remember about Mickey? When they'll tell you he was smart. He was the smartest guy in our class. And I wasn't by no means, but that's just, you sort of take on that. Just you. If people ask about, what do you remember about Rodney Turner? Oh man, he was a bad dude in high school with that basketball, But you gotta move, like you say, you gotta move on past that and be able to take pride in what else you've accomplished in your life. Because, like you say, you had those aspirations, they didn't work out, but look what I did. Look what else I've done now. So you got to be able to do that.
That's right, and that's what I mean by people not ended up. You can be dedicated to something, but life happens.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up. Well, you remember when that dude wanted me to get on the base team?
Right.
I was about to get back in it, boy. I was like, oh hell yeah, me going on in here. And told Roslyn, she said, well, what about me? I'm like, okay, that ends that. Oh yeah, baby, I'll be traveling all over Europe, playing ball, this and that, this and that. Well, what about me? I was like, I should have waited a couple more years before I married you. but she had a point, man. She led me right. So, because I mean, that wasn't going nowhere. Because as soon as I couldn't play no more, you just go back to your job that you don't know nothing about now. So, but yeah, man, especially if it's your dream, boy, you any opportunity you get to do it, you're gonna try to do it. But some people never get to. And the thing about people staying in their same place, they don't ever get away from it. By getting away, don't nobody know you from Adam. You just somebody else out here, and ain't nobody talking about when y'all won this and won that, and you hit 40 points one time and all this kind of stuff. Ain't nobody talking about that. But you, if anybody talks about it.
Yeah. That sort of the same kind of thing I used to tell people about, being in the military. We take pride in, our ranks and things. I'm a colonel, general, whatever. I said, yeah, if you walk into McDonald's, you don't walk into McDonald's, say, I'm a general, I'm going to go to the front of the line. You stay back there in the back just like everybody else.
I'm telling you.
You got to take a little of that with a bit of a grain of salt when it comes to stuff like that. You might be a big dog in your own world, but there's a whole different world out there too.
Yes, sir.
You got to humble yourself a little bit when it comes to stuff, the stuff like that. And that's like I say, that to me is just part of life. But I don't know. You sort of philosophize with things and try to come up with reasons why you did certain things or certain things that happen. And I've always said, I think there's a part of your life that you have a bit of control over, and there's a whole lot of your life that you don't have control over. It just happened to work out good.
That's right. You made the best of it.
You made the best of it, because I just don't think you have full control over anything. I mean, look at us in the military. Our ability to progress and all was always in the hand of somebody else, pretty much. I mean, you could do all you could do and try to do all the right things, but it still came down to the people that was writing your EPRs and APRs and that kind of stuff and that kind of thing. So yeah, you have some control, but you definitely don't have full control. And some of that, I said, that divine intervention that we keep talking about, it ain't because you made the best decision. It's because something good happened for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. And the part you could control is you kept moving forward.
And as I say, making good decisions along the way.
Making good decisions.
Good decisions along the way.
Some of those decisions were, like I said, life. Next thing you got a wife, next thing you got kids. And I mean, that alters all of that. Then you start thinking, hey, I gotta be, even though that's my core anyway, but I gotta be on the up and up, because I got other people to think about. And I just never was one to want to be in a whole lot of mess. I don't know who I was talking to recently when I said, man, I ain't trying to act like I'm no better than anybody else, and there wasn't no goody two shoes. I said, but we went to that Scared Straight program when I was a young teen. I said, I ain't been wanting to be in nobody's jail ever since I heard that clank. I'm like, oh no, this is not happening here. I couldn't wait to get up out of there, boy. I was like, shit, I had no problem when somebody said, hey, let's go do this. I'll see you later. Well, I ain't finna have no, plus people at home tell me, you don't be having no police running up in here looking for you.
I heard that.
We're going to put you out there for them.
That would have been the same way as my family. If something like that would have happened, they would say, come get him. He's right here.
That's right.
Yeah, same way with me and me.
I don't want none of that. I can still hear just like it was yesterday when they closed that cell. I was like, nope, this ain't where I knew I didn't aspire to be there.
Yeah, life is funny. Really enjoyed the conversation me and Rodney had today. And regardless of it, we all have a life's path. That's what makes us all unique. Well, folks, join us next time for the next edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.